Hello, my name is Debbie Asti Molodo. Let's learn about argument, premise, and issues. In this video, we will discuss about claims, issues, and arguments. What is a claim? Claims or statement. Here is one. Neptune has the fastest winds in the solar system. An important claim might be called a proposition, assertion, judgment, hypothesis, principle, thesis, or in some situation, a law. Claims have to be capable of being true or false. So if you say it's midnight, then you have made a claim about you haven't. If you ask, is it midnight? Or say, don't go out after midnight. Although there a difference between a declarative sentence and the claim made with the declarative sentence. This book will often not honor that distinction and will speak of declarative sentences themselves as being claims. What is an argument? The word argument has more than one meaning. In this book, we will not use the word in the sense of being unpleasantly argumentative. Instead, it will normally mean a conclusion supported by one or more reasons. It takes only one person to have an argument, not two. Saying that two people are in an argument means that there are two arguments, not one, in the technical sense of argument. Each person has his or her own argument. In short, a word argument is a technical term with a more precise meaning than it has in ordinary conversation. What is the issue? We argue in order to settle issues. Issues arise when there is uncertainty about whether to accept or reject a claim. For example, someone argues for the claim that you ought to quit eating strawberry yogurt because it causes cancer, and you wonder whether it really does. You are wondering about the following issue: whether eating strawberry yogurt will cause cancer. It's common to express an issue by using the word whether to indicate the uncertainty involved. You don't want to express the issue by taking just one side of the issue. When two people are in an argument, they are divided on the issue. The metaphor is that they are on opposite sides of the fence. A second common way of expressing an issue is to present it as a question. Will eating strawberry yogurt cause cancer? The question also brings out the uncertainty and doesn't take a side. It will be a mistake to say the issue is that eating strawberry yogurt causes cancer. Using only the word that distorts the uncertainty and presents only one side of the issue. The issue is not the same as the topic. The topic is food and health. Topic are more general than issue. Issue are more specific than topic. Normally, when you find an argument, the issue is whether the argument's conclusion is correct. What is a proof? People often argue in order to prove something, but that word proof is a trick word. There are different standards of proof in different situations. What is required to prove a new theorem in mathematics to the university math professor is different from what is required to prove to your neighbor that you're sorry to be so late in returning his shovel. Basically, a proof is a convincing argument, an argument that should convince people, not simply that does convince them. You prove a statement to other persons if you give them reasons that ought to convince them. Indicators: spotting an argument and assessing whether the argument is any good, or two distinct abilities. Usually you use them both at the same time. However, before you can evaluate an argument, you have to identify it. Detecting argument can be difficult sometimes, but there are causes to look for. The start of a conclusion is often indicated by the word therefore, so, or thus. In addition to these conclusion indicators, the terms because and suppose. The signal that are called premise indicators. Premise indicators consist of signs because, for the reason that, assuming, suppose, as indicated by, is implied by, given that, in view of the fact that, for granted that, and one cannot doubt that. Conclusion indicators consist of, therefore, consequently, thus, this means so, it follows that, shows that, implies that, proves that, leads me to believe that, hence, in conclusion, for this reason, accordingly, the moral is, means that, we can infer that, and as result. Discount indicators. It's very common for passages containing arguments also to contain claims that are neither premises nor conclusions, but instead signal the presence of a acknowledgement that some point that might seem to undermine the argument is weak. The following terms are frequently used as discount indicators. Even though I realize that, but in spite of the fact that, will it may be true that. Rewriting arguments in standard form. Here is a list of what you should pay attention to when rewriting an argument in standard form. List the premise, followed by the conclusion. Remove extraneous sentence. Remove indicator process. Replace pronoun with their antecedents, if possible. Draw a line between the premise and the conclusion, or else place before the conclusion. Add implicit premise, remove ambiguity wherever possible. There is no need to number the premise because premise order should not make any difference. Conditional and the word if. The word if is not in the list of premise indicator words. You cannot rely on if to indicate a premise. If-then statements are called conditional statements or conditionals. A statement can be a conditional even if the companion word then is not present. Conditional have a standard form which is if A then B. Often conditionals are expressed in other ways. For example, here is a conditional that contains neither an if nor a then. The larger a star, the quicker it burns up and dies. Rewriting it in standard form products. If a star is larger, then it burns up and dies quicker. Deductively valid and inductively strong. The primary goal in argumentation is for the conclusion to follow from its basic premise, either with certainty or with high probability. Technically, this means the arguer desires the argument to be deductively valid or to be inductively strong. Below are 5 definitions. It is common to drop the word deductive from the term deductively valid. An argument is valid if the truth of its basic premise forces the conclusion to be true. An argument is valid if it would be inconsistent for its basic premises to be true and its conclusion to be false. An argument is valid if its conclusion follows with certainty from its basic premises. An argument is valid if the conclusion would be true whenever the basic premises were true. An argument is valid if it has no counterexample, that is, a possible situation that makes the premise true and the conclusion false. Uncovering implicit premise. Implicit premise are the unstated claims or unstated assumptions of the argument. Common sense assumptions are almost always safe assumptions. These are the common beliefs shared by nearly every adult in your civilization. Here are some more examples. Rain is wetter than dust. You shouldn't stick a knife in your eyes. Sons are younger than their fathers. A week is longer than a minute. Mountains are too heavy to carry in your pocket. The U.S. has a president, not a king. Definition and implicit premise. Definition and implicit premise of an argument is a statement that does not appear explicitly, but that is intended by the arguer to be a premise to help make the conclusion follow from the premises. Locating unstated conclusion. Just as we detect missing premise by using our knowledge of indicators, terms, and of what is needed from deductive validity and inductive strength. So, we can also use that knowledge to detect missing conclusion. Detecting absurd argumentation. It takes detective skills to detect the essence of an argument among all the irrelevant remarks that people make while they argue. Another difficulty in spotting arguments is that they can differ greatly in their structure. Instead of the backing up and conclusion by only one page of reasons, an arguer might give a variety of lines of argument for the conclusion. Diagramming multiple arguments. The sub-conclusion is a basic premise for the final conclusion that all the patients given the AIDS antidote now have red hair. These diagrams are called tree diagrams because they look a bit like an upside-down tree with the roots at the beginning tips. Description and explanations. Language is a tool we can use for many purposes. We use it to describe a situation, to explain why an event occurred, and to argue that our conclusion should be believed, but we also use it to intimidate, to promise, to perform merits, to forgive, to apologize, and to insult. However, most of our reasoning occurs when we use language to describe, explain, or argue, which is why this book concentrates on this use. Here is a quick summary of the difference. A description says that it's like that. An explanation says how it come to be like that. An argument tries to convince you that it is like that. Review of major points. We, we briefly explored the difference among descriptions, arguments, and explanation. Description state the facts, report on states of mind, express false, and so forth. Arguments aim at convincing you that something is so or that something should be done. Explanation done. They assume you are already convinced and instead try to show the cause, the motivation, or the sequence of events that led up to it. We note that some arguments are strong enough to be called proof. Premise and conclusion indicator process serves as guideposts for detecting arguments. Almost all arguments have some implicit elements. The most common implicit premise and definition of words, principles of grammar, and rules of mathematics. Arguments can be evaluated as being deductively valid or inductively strong. With inductively strong arguments, there is a small probability that the conclusion is false if the premises are true, unlike with deductively valid arguments. Okay, thank you. See you. Bye.